Joining me in the studio this week is Tina Lamoureux.
Hi, Sarah. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good.
Thank you so much for joining us today. We are talking about gift giving. And as the Agent Survival Guide, we give you guides on a lot of things. So why not giving you a guide on gift giving, especially when it is such a busy time of year? I don't know about you, Tina, but I am nowhere near done with my Christmas shopping.
I just have to get a few gift cards and then I'm done.
Lucky.
Yeah.
Very lucky. I feel like I have always procrastinated, but I also really enjoy that last minute shopping rush and just the excuse to go out and shop in stores. So maybe before we get into gift giving ideas for you guys to listen to today, but before we get into that, Tina, are you an in-person brick and mortar store shopper or do you prefer to shop online?
That's a good question. I feel like I did most of my Christmas shopping online this year, but that's because most of the things I got were kind of niche. I wouldn't be able to find them in like Walmart or a brick and mortar store, at least around here. But I do sometimes like that in-person shopping, getting the wrapping paper and all the bows. So I think wrapping the gifts is probably my favorite part of Christmas time.
Nice. Do you have any traditions that you partake in while you're wrapping those gifts?
I normally put on a Christmas movie or maybe some Christmas music, and my cats like to come and sit on the paper and try to get into the ribbons. So I guess you could say that's kind of a tradition.
Nice, nice. I want to say that I've seen a video somewhere where somebody actually wrapped their cat sort of like a little burrito, you know, that they might have had the arms and legs in, but definitely the head out. I can't imagine that anyone's cat would really enjoy that, especially your cat's.
No, I'm not going to attempt to do that.
Yes, don't try that at home. Me, I've mentioned I really enjoy that in-store experience. Online shopping, it's funny, for as much as in-store shopping overwhelms people, online shopping overwhelms me. My mother-in-law needed a list. I felt really good that I had created this Pinterest board. I had been looking for about, 2 hours online. I looked at the Pinterest board. I had 6 things pinned to this board after 2 hours of searching. Yeah, I really like the experience of being in the store a little bit better, being able to see, I guess probably get distracted by all the things there that I'm not technically there to buy, but I have also had some decent inspiration in the last minutes of being able to be out shopping. I have definitely found inspiration out of necessity. But without further ado, let's get into our lists here. I will let you start with the first thing that is on your list.
Okay. I've taken a break from Instagram recently, but right before I took a break, I saw a bunch of reels about giving either homemade, thrifted, or repurposed gifts. Mm-hmm. A lot of people online, at least on my side of the internet, have been trying to do like a no-waste, more meaningful gift by doing homemade stuff. So I've seen a lot of gift baskets from thrift stores and homemade baked goods, things like that. So I've seen a lot of that. And also these things tend to be a little cheaper than buying a brand new gift. So they're definitely really good if you're on a budget. Or if you're crafty, I like crafting things almost as much as I like giving and getting things. So I really liked that idea. Some of them were, you can write recipe cards with your baked goods or make jam or salsa, things like that. And you can also add new things like coffee, alcohol, or wine in the gift baskets. I think you mentioned maybe last year doing like the meal basket. Mm-hmm. So you can do like spaghetti, you can do jar sauce, noodles, and then some wine to go with it. So I think those are really nice personal gifts that you can give. It just has a little extra touch of warmth added to it. Addition to that, kind of going with the basket, are jar gifts. Mm-hmm. So I'm a big mason jar person. Love jars. So you can make like a cookie mix, a brownie mix, and put it in the jar. You can wrap it up in ribbon, put a fancy tag and the recipe. Those are really good if you're doing like a bulk gift.
Mm-hmm.
maybe for people at work or in your church, where you could just buy a bunch of the bulk ingredients and then make a bunch of the jars. You could also do hot chocolate, granola, soup mix, things like that. It also doesn't have to be food related. I saw some that had personal care products like soap, lotion, chapsticks, nail polish, beard oil, things like that. Again, these are really great if you're on a budget because you can get most of those little things at like the dollar store.
Mm-hmm.
And they could also repurpose the jar. So you kind of doing a little budget and sustainability all in one with that one.
Right. I like the idea of not having a ton of things to throw away, because once you get to a point where you are having Christmas at your own home or having any holiday celebration at your own home, you'll quickly find that you end up with all of these boxes, all of this stuff that you have to throw away. And if you can package those things, like you were saying, in a basket that can then be reused, that's such an added plus. And also with having that gift basket, there are so many possibilities to what you can make. And a lot of times what you're going to create and put together in that basket is going to be a lot more personal than what you're going to find in a store. You can really tailor those to the people that you are purchasing them for. And I think I have something along those lines. You kind of mentioned the idea of this basket. It's something that it's sustainable. You're not going to throw it away. You can really personalize those, I think, a lot more if you put something like that together for someone rather than just buying one that's already been put together. I want to say that you can probably also put it together for much lower expense than what you would see elsewhere. If you are sleeping on thrift stores, you are definitely sleeping, because there are amazing deals to be had there. I have constantly been surprised by what I find there, things that are brand new. They've never been used. And it's not even that they're like 50% off. I mean, they're a fraction of the cost that you would spend getting it brand new. And then you're taking it out of the thrift shop so that more things can come in. And a lot of those thrift stores are donating that money to very good causes. So you can also feel good about shopping there as opposed to some of those bigger stores. One of the things I think that kind of goes along with that, it's what I dubbed either last year or the year before my batteries included mindset. And that's kind of the idea of this gift giving methodology. Part of that was with the gift presentation, that rather than putting things in a bag or a basket that is going to be thrown away, you can do baskets that you pick up from a thrift store. You can do a storage bin that you get from either a thrift store or from a regular store. And you can also kind of personalize that with what you know about the person. And those thoughtful considerations really elevate your gift. And if you're kind of looking at these from like a last minute perspective, that's going to really bring them out of what could potentially be like a last minute catastrophe to something that is an actual really thoughtful gift. And there are so many different ways that you can do that. So the other part of my batteries included mindset is the idea that there are just certain things that you give people. Like if you give someone a mug, you want to give them something to put into it. So it doesn't have to be anything crazy, but just, a K-cup or a hot chocolate packet, something that actually is like, oh, here's a mug. Here's the use case with which you're going to use this with. I don't know if that's the marketing in me, but that's something that I've always really enjoyed doing when I'm gift giving. What else do you have on your list?
So my next one kind of goes with what we already talked about with sustainability, but it's also more of the ethical and natural parts of gift giving. I think a lot of people are more aware of the chemicals that they're eating and putting on their skin. So a lot of brands have come out with like natural soaps and foods that don't have any preservatives and all natural products. More people have sustainability and ethical practices on their radar. I don't know if that's true, at least on your radar, but
there are certain things that I am mindful of as I'm shopping. I think the hard thing with some of the ethical questions, there are certain places that I won't shop or I won't order from because of certain practices that they engage in. But as you're making those decisions, there are other things to think about. I think it's tough to necessarily be ethically minded all of the time because I think some of that information we're just not able to know about certain companies. But I know there are a lot of companies that they're very clear about what they stand for, some of their mission statements, things like that. And if you know those things ahead of time, there's a lot of those companies that we do really enjoy supporting. I personally really like the one-for-one companies where you buy one thing from them and they donate one of that same thing to people in need. But yeah, I would say I think millennials are. I think the longer we've gone on and the more that is brought to the forefront, I think generations, the younger and younger generations are becoming aware of it and being mindful with their shopping dollars as they become mindful of those issues.
Yeah, it's definitely something I usually try to look out for. If I find a new company, I like to do research. But not everyone has time for that. And also, like you said, it's exhausting to research every single company you're buying from. So if you have anyone in your friends and family that is looking for ethical and sustainable products, these are definitely gifts to consider for them. The first is Unreal Snacks. These are mostly chocolates, but they're made with simple, fair trade ingredients, natural colors, no sugar alcohols, soy-free, non-GMO, and many of their products are vegan and gluten-free. And one thing I love about these is the price won't break the bank. I think comparatively, it's not that much more expensive than the larger name brand like Hershey chocolates, which those are getting a little more expensive every time I go to the store,
yes,
it seems.
Cocoa is a premium right now, but I like that they don't have the added sugars from alcohol because I think that's one sneaky way with some of those, what I call fake sugars. I don't know that they're necessarily fake. I have a lot of issues with my body being able to process those. So that's something that's on my radar, definitely.
I really enjoy these. I've tried quite a few of their products. Not all of them. My favorites are probably the coconut chocolate bars. It's like a Almond Joy without the almond, so it's just a joy bar, I guess.
Or Mounds.
Mounds. I always forget that they're called Mounds. It's like a Mounds bar.
Almond Joys have nuts. Mounds don't. Thank you to whatever company that was that drilled that song into my head.
Dark chocolate coconut bars, similar to Mounds. Those are my current favorite. They also have chocolate-covered almonds, chocolate-covered pretzels, peanut butter and almond butter cups, and a lot more. So there's a huge variety, and they also have a M&M knockoff, like candy chocolates used with all natural coloring, which I know that's something that a lot of people look out for as well.
Yes. I grew up in the 80s during the red dye #2 scare and subsequent ban. So I can say I think that tracks. People are starting to think more critically about the ingredients and additives in what they're consuming.
Yeah. And again, like I said, there's no sugar alcohols. I gave a gift of these to someone with diabetes. I know giving sweets to someone who's diabetic isn't the greatest, but they're allowed to have sweets too. But the fact that these are no sugar alcohol and a little bit less sugar than regular chocolate bars in the store, it made for a really nice treat for them. They also have variety packs that you can buy, so you don't have to worry about making a gift basket. You could just buy their variety pack. You can create your own, or they have a vegan variety pack for around $35, and I think that's around 4 to 5 bags of candy. So it's really not that much as far as price. You can also buy Unreal products on their website, or you can find them in stores like Target, Whole Foods, and Walmart. I guess it also depends on your location. Another chocolate brand that I found is Alter Echo, and this one is a little more pricey, but they are committed to sustainability and fair trade. Their chocolate is organic, fair trade, non-GMO, soy, gluten, and additive free. The company is climate neutral certified, meaning they offset carbon emissions by planting trees. And their packaging is also compost friendly, which I thought was really interesting. Kind of talked about waste earlier and all the wrapping paper and stuff and things going to the trash. So this is one thing that will at least be compostable.
Yeah, my dad has a compost pile, and I will say that he would probably be willing to try that out. I don't know that a lot of things make it into his compost pile without very, very extreme scrutiny. He's very picky. But if you ever have any of the fruits and vegetables from his garden, you will understand why.
Like I said, Alter Echo is a little higher in pricing, but if you go to their website, you can really see all the passion they put into ethical products and quality products. So you can definitely check out their website, or you can also buy on Amazon. They have chocolate bars, truffles, quinoa, and granola. They had a bunch of different flavors. There was brown butter chocolate bar, there was like burnt caramel, and then there was a peppermint one that looked really good. So I'm probably going to be buying those this season to try those out. But they also got really good reviews.
Nice. They sound really good. A lot of interesting flavors there, which I like to consider what I am treating myself with. I want it to be on something that is absolutely delicious, different flavor profiles. I like trying new things. So that definitely sounds like something fun to consider for the holiday season. While we're on that subject of trying new things and enjoying new tastes and all of that, I would say cooking related gifts are one of my go-tos. And that's probably because most of the people in my family or that I'm giving gifts to really love to cook. And the beauty about this kind of gift, it can work even if the person doesn't really like to cook, because we all have to eat. This kind of riffs on that idea of like the themed dinner or a themed experience. What I love about that is it takes the edge off of trying something new. So if there are things that need to be bought in order to make a meal, like say, you really want to try out stir fry, you've never made that before. Well, if you gift the person a wok with a good sesame oil and soy sauce, with those, your giftee can make stir fry from literally leftovers in their fridge with just freshly steamed rice. But you have taken the burden of the cost involved in trying something new, and you're making that a little bit more accessible to them. And even if you want to do trying different flavors or things like that, one of my favorite ways to do that, things that I like to get and I like to gift, hot sauce. I would never consider myself a hot sauce connoisseur, but I am married to one. And I also have a few in my family. So the great thing about hot sauce is that it's really a gift that keeps on giving. It's not like a bottle of just, you use it for one thing and it's done. That certainly has like its purpose, but you don't use it all in one go. You can give people that opportunity to try out new flavors in their hot sauces and kind of experiment with how they want to put that on different foods. It could be as complicated as trying the new flavors, or it could be as simple as trying out a new brand compared with what you're used to. I've mentioned before, my sister lives in a completely different state, and it might sound silly, but we love surprising each other with sauces or treats that the other can't get in their area or possibly they might not have heard of. And I mean, this is really as simple as when she had a Wegmans before we had a Wegmans, anything she brought from Wegmans was just an absolute treat for us. Now, one of my absolute favorite hot sauces does come from Torchbearer, which you're familiar with as our boss, Lisa. She is married to one of the founders of Torchbearer. They make amazing hot sauces. The one that I like the best from them is Danny Wood's jalapeno cilantro sauce. My husband a lot of time will make me breakfast burritos when he is home and I'm working from home. And I am fanatical about having that sauce on my breakfast burritos. But the fun thing about that sauce is the introduction to that made me want to try other green hot sauces. It wasn't really something I was even familiar with previously. And now I love green hot sauces, whether it has a jalapeno base or it has a green chili base. And that's the fun thing about trying something new. It can open up completely new flavor doors. I didn't even know that green sriracha was a thing.
I did not know that was a thing either.
I had no idea. It is delicious. And I was willing to try it because I love that jalapeno cilantro sauce from Torchbearer. So I had an idea of like, okay, this is what this is going to taste like, because I'm not one of those people that likes like super fiery hot sauce. I like when it has like a good taste to it, or you can taste some of the different notes and profiles that are in it. And they have a lot of different flavors that do that. So that's one way that I've enjoyed that. And then one that I was given as a gift, I can't think of the name of it, but it was a truffle hot sauce. And I usually love truffles on just about everything. So I was willing to try it in a hot sauce. But I never would have thought that truffles would go in a hot sauce. Cooking gifts, I think you can do a lot with those. And there's a lot of opportunity to share kind of things that you like. I love the ideas that you had mentioned about including that recipe card, because those are things that you are going to want those recipes. Share them. This might sound a little morbid and a little dark and a little bleak, but share them while you can, because it's one of those things like you can't get those after someone is gone and hasn't shared those. And it's a very special thing to get and have a recipe written from the person who shared that recipe with you in their handwriting. It's a very thoughtful gift that will go over very well.
I definitely agree.
Yeah.
Kind of to add on to that, if someone doesn't like spicy, you could try maybe a barbecue sauce set. There's tons of different types of barbecue sauce, and I'm sure there's one for everyone. So a lot of brands have different kinds. You can kind of create like a little basket. Spice blends are another one that I like to give to people who like to cook, because a lot of times we go to the store, we buy the same like 5 spices, and we don't really venture out. So those are always really fun to give as well.
Yes, that's another one that I didn't even think of, that now you're kind of unlocking things in my brain. My sister has gifted us a lot of spices from Penzeys, and they do a lot of those different spice blends. And it's kind of nice when you have someone telling you, hey, this is what I use it on, so that you're not just kind of looking at, well, I wonder if all of these things mixed together taste good on like this or that. So that is definitely a fun gift. Can confirm. What else do you have on your list for us today, Tina?
So my next gift idea is gifting experiences. So tickets to live music or comedy shows, movies, amusement parks, sports games, even high-end restaurants, or maybe botanical gardens, things like that. Gifting an experience is another way to declutter your Christmas. And I'm seeing that I have a trend now with all of my Christmas ideas. Maybe it's because I moved into a smaller place to live this year, so I'm very conscious of space. But giving people tickets to something they enjoy, or you can give it to something you think they'll enjoy. And even if they don't, it's a free ticket and they've tried something new. So there's a positive with that. And it also gives the person something to look forward to after the holidays. So if you give them a ticket to a comedy show in March or February, they have time to mentally prepare, which I appreciate. And also it kind of keeps the Christmas spirit going a little bit.
Yeah, that's one thing I've often said. It would be great if we had a month in between November and December to kind of elongate the holiday season a little bit, so we get that enjoyment, because it has always struck me that, immediately after the holidays, we tend to go back to this very unwarm and welcoming kind of attitude and spirit. But also the idea too that in January, when things are gray and kind of blah, it is nice to have something that you can look forward to. Not really sure that this is a great segue to it, but I mean, I am a podcast host and I feel like I can segue in my sleep. When you're talking about things that you can look forward to, some might say that that is an incredibly thoughtful gift. And that is kind of the theme of my next pick here, is to delight your giftees by being thoughtful. I know this sounds very cliche, but I can kind of explain how I do it. One of the things that I look at as far as the holidays go, when I'm giving a gift, I try not to box myself into sort of, well, I can do this or I can't do this. I'm kind of open to whatever I happen to see. And this is probably why I'm able to go out and shop, and I enjoy that experience of seeing and looking and engaging with the brick and mortar store. I'll give an example. When I was at the beach this summer, I saw a lunch tote that I knew would be perfect for my sister. And I could have gotten it for her and given it to her when, the next time that I saw her, but I got it for her for Christmas. So that was when I started my Christmas shopping, was way back in June. And then later on in August or September, I saw a throw pillow that I knew my dad would love it. So I picked that up for him. A couple of years ago, my mom and my sister were talking about how there should be a standard 3/4 measuring cup, because one of our favorite holiday cookie recipes calls for a 3/4 cup of sugar and a 3/4 cup of brown sugar. And wouldn't it be so much easier if you just put it into the cup instead of having to use like the half cup and the 1/4 cup? This could just be our measuring cup set, but it was one of those conversations that it stuck in my head. And that year, my mom and my sister both got 3/4 measuring cups for Christmas. And it's not one of those things that you always have to purchase so far in advance. I think, for me at least, simply taking that time to browse, whether it's in the store or online, as long as you've been present with that person and you know them well, you should be able to find them a gift that lets them know that you were really thinking about them or thinking about what they would like, what they might like, what their interests are. It's one of those things, we say it's the thought that counts. That is very, I think, important to consider when you're giving
your
gifts.
time and effort. It's more of actions instead of actual gifts. No purchase is necessary. And if you're a busy person, taking time out of your schedule to go and spend time with someone else or do something for someone else, to me, that means a lot. I'm quality time, love language here, number 1 of the 5 love languages. So quality time is my favorite. It means the most to me. And it doesn't have to be a grand gesture, and everyone needs help from time to time. So if any of your friends and family are maybe sick with the flu or a bad cold, or if they have mobility problems, whatever the case is, you can offer to do something for them. Whether that's go run an errand or take them with you on the errand. You can clean their house, maybe not their whole house, maybe just one room like a kitchen or a living room. But even just doing those small things can really make a difference. And if someone has children, you can offer to babysit them so the parents can get some quality time together.
Yes, every parent will love you for offering that. That is hard to come by. So yeah, I will second, third, fourth, and fifth. How many limbs do I have here? Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely know that's a big one for my nieces and nephews. It's really hard to find people you trust to babysit. And also with new moms, maybe they just want to take a nap and you're just in their house watching their baby. Like they don't have to leave the house, or they want to get something done. That's also a really big gesture. Like we said, you can pick up groceries or make a meal for someone, especially if they're homebound. Those people who may not be able to leave their house as much definitely appreciate when people do things for them. And I think these gestures are, one, they're not as expensive. So if money's something you're thinking about, it's definitely something to consider. And I think they're more meaningful and kind of gives a memory along with the holiday season, something positive.
Right. My mom would make gift baskets for us. It would be for me and for my sister. I still have like 3 of those laundry baskets, just like a little round laundry basket. Kind of goes with what we talked about before. A sustainable item that you're going to be able to use again. And she would just pack in like pantry essentials, tea, sugar, those kind of things that you're going to need to buy eventually. And what that does is it would free up the extra money in your budget for kind of maybe not a ton all at once. But what it did was it would give you a little bit more wiggle room than what you had. So you would get, $15, $20 here, maybe like $10 there. And it was a nice little gift that lasted into January, February, a little bit through the season, like what you were kind of mentioning. One of the other things that I had here, and this is one of those that I think we all know that person that they will accept something as a gift and they'll be super grateful for it. They probably might even want it, but they're never going to buy it for themselves. They're never going to do it for themselves. Elevating like a standard item. I won't say pushing this into luxury items at all, because I don't think that is the vibe this year at all. But one of the things that my mom did, and I guess this ties in with that a little bit, is when you think about the items that a person normally uses, how can you elevate that? How can you make that speak into their lives a little bit? I mean, if they're into skincare, but maybe they don't ever treat themselves, you could gift them a few products from that same line that you know they'll use. Or if there's a line that's just a little more expensive than their traditional, yeah, you can give them that. Or you could kind of round out their gift. And that's what we were talking about with like the gift basket. You know, if they like their favorite moisturizer, get them that and add in extras like the under eye cream, the hand lotion, a bath bomb. You can put together your own little spa at home package for them with washcloths, decorative towels, or even a nice plush bathrobe. There's a lot of little ways to take one gift idea and expand on it using, just a little bit of creativity and a little bit of, again, knowledge of that person that you're giving the gift to. Anything else that you have on your list as far as tips and tricks and how to survive the holidays this year?
Yes, I have one more, and depending on the situation, there may be no gift wrap required. If you know of someone saving up for a car or a house, a wedding, a baby, any major life event, you can give a monetary gift specifically for that purpose.
Okay.
So giving money might seem like a generic gift, just throwing money at someone like, here, I didn't put any thought into this.
No, I love that. I love that. And I will tell you, I think my family probably thinks that I'm picky with certain things. And that's the thing. If you think somebody is picky, they probably will love the gift of cash or a gift card, or like you said, cash towards something really specific, because everybody has a thing that they really want to do that they're probably saving for.
Yeah, and it also gives, like we said earlier, a thoughtful element to it. I suggest also, even if you're not a great writer, you could write a letter explaining what the gift is for, how you're excited to meet the new baby that might be coming, or it's for the baby's education. Here's a little something for your first car. Things like that really show that you're thinking about them, but also you're giving them money towards that specific thing. And small sentiments like this can really mean the world to people, like you said. And if they're picky, a gift card to Amazon or Target or even just cash can also go a long way, because then they can get something that they need or something that they've been wanting for a while or can save up for something. I know my partner is very picky about his gifts. And his mom keeps texting me about what to get him for Christmas. And I gave a few suggestions. And after a little while, I'm like, I don't know. He's very specific about brands, and he likes a lot of like computer stuff. I don't know anything about that. So I don't want to buy him the wrong thing. So I'm just like, maybe a gift card would be better so he can pick out his own thing.
Yes, I am 100% with you there. I'm really good at dropping hints at what I want. Like, I have been hard selling the Nothing open ear earbuds pretty much since I saw them come out and since I saw the reviews. But my husband isn't the greatest at letting me know. He'll let me know, once that he likes something, but he's not typically like a come back to it and let me know again and again and again. But he is very picky, and his mom will do the same thing. So I would love to say it gets better as you get further along in your relationship. It probably will never change. You'll probably still get those messages from her asking for any kind of like gift list or gift ideas. I got mine over to her before he got his over to her. So I was like, woohoo, I win. But yeah, it's difficult. But personally, I like gift cards, because then it's like, you get through Christmas and you're like, ooh, I have all of this capability to go out shopping. And a lot of times I will save them until, March or April. And it's once I actually get into spending them, it's great, because it's like, oh, I still have all these gift cards. I'm not spending actual money here, even though I am. But
it's not your money you're spending. It's someone else's money you're spending.
Yes. It starts out that way. And then depending on the store, it can end up going downhill pretty fast with adding on items that then I need to add some cash toward the purchase. But is there any gift that's kind of at the top of your list this year?
I'm trying to think of what I even put on my list.
Yeah.
Normally I'm really on top of that, but this year I'm like, I don't know what I want. I know for our Secret Santa for our office, we do a
Mhm.
Secret Santa every year. I put on my list a microwavable silicone or glass, there's 2 options, popcorn bowl.
Okay.
Like it has a cover.
Yeah.
So I put the glass one on. I think the silicone one is the second in case that one runs out. But I love popcorn.
Mhm.
And sometimes I get sick of the bagged popcorn that's just really salty. I want real butter,
Mhm.
but making it on the stove, I have to wash dishes and
Yep.
stand there while it pops. So that's something that I've been thinking about for a while. And I'm like,
Mhm.
oh, I'll just ask for it for Christmas.
Right.
So.
Right. Why is it that you think of all of these things through the year that you're like, oh, that'd be great for Christmas? And then the minute somebody asks you, what do you want for the holidays? Your brain goes blank. Any thought of previous ideas or anything like that, they just go out the window. Well, I think we've gotten through a lot of different gifts and ideas, and hopefully we've given you some great ideas to take out into the stores and find great gifts for your family. What is one thing that you could say that you're most looking forward to just coming up this holiday season in
Trying to
general?
find my list now. I think the thing I'm most looking forward to. So I didn't actually celebrate Christmas growing up. So I've
Mhm.
only done Christmas as an adult.
Mhm.
So my partner's family, we usually go to their house to celebrate. And what they do is they all sit in a circle and we take turns opening presents.
Oh, okay.
So we do it one at a time, which I thought was interesting because I've only ever gone to birthday parties. It's one person opening the gifts. So I really like that everyone takes turns. It kind of gives you time to really marvel in the gift that they get. And also everyone kind of doesn't open theirs all at the one time.
Yeah.
And then, oh, it's over.
Right.
It kind of keeps the momentum going a little bit. So I really like that.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I wish we would have done that for my daughter's first Christmas. It was kind of a free-for-all, and she got very overwhelmed with all the talking and all the noise. And we ended up having to leave the room for at least 20 minutes. So I missed a lot of that. And I think that's fun hearing those little stories of why somebody got somebody this or the dedication that they went through to get this gift under the tree. It's fun to hear those stories. I would say my biggest thing that I am looking forward to, and this is one thing that I think we've established as a tradition with my daughter, is just making holiday Christmas cookies. That is so much fun, and it really has nothing to do with the cookies. It's just the time that we spend together. She's just a lot of fun to hang out with, and I want to be able to get all of that time in that I possibly can while I still have her, living at home, living under my roof. And then the other thing, I really enjoy wrapping Christmas presents when I can just kind of zone out and listen to Christmas music or watch a Christmas movie and just kind of feel in the season, in the spirit, and just kind of present with my presents. I don't know. But yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to the most, I think, this year.
Do you have a gift on your list? Oh, you mentioned the headphones. Headphones.
Can I mention it one more time? Dear husband, I would like the nothing open ear earbuds. And they are one of the best version of the open ear earbuds. What I mean when I say that, I probably should clarify. They don't actually go into your ears. They kind of sit on them. Some of them are bone conducting. Some of them are not. Some of them are a combination of bone conducting and having speakers that sort of sit next to your ear. You do get leakage of sound a little bit, but the idea is that they're better for your ears. You're not going to have the same loss of hearing that you do with some of the other in-ear earbuds. And I have enough issues with my hearing, so they have the hook to go over the ears so they don't come out when you're walking vigorously on a treadmill or anything like that. But they stay put and they're not degrading your hearing more than my hearing is already degraded. That is my gift that I'm looking for this year. I think that's 47th or 48th time that I'm mentioning it. But now I'm going to have to tell my husband to listen to the podcast to hear what I want for Christmas. So thank you so much, Tina. You gave us some really good ideas. Thank you so much for being here on the show today. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. That is all we have for you for this episode. And we will end it like we end all of our Friday 5 episodes. I hope you have a great weekend. Stay healthy and stay safe out there.
And we'll see you next week.
The Agent Survival Guide podcast is a production of Ritter Insurance Marketing, an integrity company. This episode was researched and recorded by myself and Tina Lamoureux, with production by me, Sarah Ruppel. Podcast designed by Urban Rivera. Artwork by Vivian Zhao. Follow along with us wherever you like to listen.